Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to yet another webinar from Psychspace. Today, we are going to explore the topic of emotional challenges in adolescence. In this brief but impactful session, we'll delve into the complexities of teenage emotions, addressing their struggles, triggers, and ways to foster resilience. Whether you are a parent or an educator or a counselor or someone who's trying to help someone or help the younger generation, so join us as we go on discussing different important topics uh, about emotional challenges in adolescence. So, joining us this evening are esteemed experts who possess knowledge and experience in the realm of mental health. Allow me to introduce our prominent speaker for the evening. Firstly, we have Ms. Yeaija Chaudhary, who has been a mental health enthusiast since a very young age and is known for her being vocal about her journey with body image issues as a storyteller in a Spotify original podcast, Dear Teenage Me, and various social media platforms. Ms. Yeaija completed her master's in clinical psychology from Christ University and is currently working as a psychologist at Psychspace. Secondly, we have Ms. Deepshikha Galita. She has done her bachelor's in psychology from Guwahati University and her master's in clinical psychology from Don Bosco University affiliated institute, and also currently working as a psychologist at Psychspace. Thirdly, we have Ms. Deepshikha Galita. She has done her bachelor's in psychology from Guwahati University and also currently working as a psychologist at Psychspace. I heartily welcome all our speakers. Thank you for dedicating your valuable time to be with us. I am certain that our viewers are looking forward to your enlightening discussion.
Thank you so much, Alankrita. The introduction was so good. Thank you so much.
Without further ado, let's delve right into our topic. The first question that I'd like to ask is what are the common emotional challenges faced by adolescents and how can they manage them effectively?
Alankrita, I would like to go forward with this question. So, before we speak more on this topic, I think the first thing that we need to highlight and we need to put our focus on that we are talking about the adolescence, right? The adolescence is a time period of one's life where they are going through rapid and it's a very transformative period of someone's life, be it like physical development, emotional development, social development. So in this journey of of a child who is turning into a more mature child, and soon will be an adult, young adult, uh, he or she goes through a lot of layers of understanding of their own self, being exploring their own identity, navigating their relationship, facing increased responsibility, and all dealing while they are while with the challenges of growing up, right? And among these, in this particular transformative period and in this transition, they go through a lot of emotional difficulties that we will speak soon in this webinar. And addressing and such emotional difficulties and emotional confusions are basically, if I may say, it can stem from a lot of different reasons. But some of the most common and well seen emotional challenges are basically identity and self esteem issue to be one. A lot of time young children, they feel like adolescents, they feel like they don't know exactly who they are. They are on because of this whole transformative phase of their life that they are in right now. They always have this question, who am I? Where do I fit in? Where am I a misfit? Do I belong there? Do I don't belong there? Is this what something I believe in? Is this something that I don't believe in? My friends are all opting for something. Is my identity and is my belief are also similar to theirs? So a lot of things, a lot of challenges, it comes revolving around their identity and self-esteem issue. Another very common challenge that we see is stress and anxiety among the adolescent population. Firstly, being the academic pressure that they feel, right? Academic pressure is something which is mostly universal for a lot of kid, be it an average student, be it a topmost student, be it someone who is not very interested in study. I think academic pressure hits everyone once in their lifetime, right? So with academic pressure there comes the fear of failure, because I feel a lot of time, the fear of failure also come from social norms and our social understanding about like life and the meaning of failure and success, and how our parents help us to see which lens do they let us see the meaning of failure. So they with academic pressure there comes a fear of failure. Then there is parental expectations, there is future uncertainty, and a lot of these things together, it piles up into in forms of stress and anxiety. Another very important thing is mood swings. And that is basically because a lot of hormonal changes are happening to the kid and to the adolescent. And as we know that hormones play a very important role in our mood, being if uplifting it, be it making it depressed or sad. All of these things, all of these emotions are very well, and they can go through, due to these hormonal changes, they can go through a rapid changes in the mood swings, leading to instability, frustration, irritation, among them. Another very important and something which we cannot neglect is body image issue. At this particular age, since I said it's a very transformative phase, at this particular age kids tend to change in their physical aspect as well, be it a boy or a girl. Physically they change, and when they change a lot of unresolved questions are left with them, you know and then society being society, there are a lot of standards, be it a man or a woman. There's a lot of standards, and somewhere between those standards and between that transformative phase of their, they get lost. And with social media, with a lot of other things in the play, body image issue is something which is very real, and if it is let go without getting proper, if it's severe, and one should definitely call out for help and should reach to professionals. And I think with this, these are few of the most challenging and very, vividly seen few emotional challenges that we practically see in a clinical setting on a regular basis, and mostly among the adolescents. Now, the other part of the question, Alankita, you asked me the strategies to manage, such emotional challenges. The first thing that I always advocate and I always believe is kids should, you know, we should help kids to build a sense of self awareness. A lot of things are resolved when you're aware of the problem, when you're aware why is it happening. That awareness itself brings a lot of things which is messed up inside your mind, inside your head, brings a clear picture, right? And self awareness is not something that the kids can do by themselves, adolescents can do by themselves. It requires the help of parents, it requires the help of teachers, it requires the help of a lot of other people. and definitely society, community as well. But I think parental role plays a major role here, and even school plays a very important role, because these two institutions are where they're constantly in interaction with, right? So building self awareness. Second thing is promoting open communication, be it between peers, be it between parents and teachers. Communication is a very important role where they can, ask question, and where their curiosity gets an answer. Because a lot of time, because of this particular age, there's a lot of questions, and like their minds are very curious, and they want to know a lot of things. So if the answers are not, given, or if they cannot approach their own parents with those questions, they would try to find the answers somewhere else, be it internet, be it friends, be it someone else, basically strangers in the internet. They'll speak and stuff like that. So I think promoting open communication is one of the most important managing technique here. And and it can definitely help. And that starts when the parents brings a very non-judgmental environment, and and the parents also encourages and trust their kids, you know so that the kids can fall back and can also trust back with the information they're sharing with the parents. The other very important thing is focusing on a positive relationship and focusing on self-esteem. Now, self-esteem plays a very important role when it comes to adolescents, because, like I said in the beginning, they have a lot of identity issue, and they have a lot of anxiety around this particular topic, like who am I, where do I fit in, and stuff like that. So if parents and teachers and other siblings and whoever comes in the play, if they try to highlight their strengths and their achievements, and the parts where they are strong, then they build on core belief about their self, about the things that they can focus on, and it builds their own self esteem in future. And with self esteem, definitely there will be other things, such as their identity would be stronger and their own self concept will be stronger. Lastly, I think if a lot of things are unresolved, and a lot of things are, if it's not being resolved in the family, I think one should and one can take professional help, definitely. If it's becoming very unmanageable for the parents, for the school, for the institution, right? And even if it's becoming very unmanageable for the kids, they can definitely approach to professional help. So yeah, I think that's all from my side, Alankrita.
Thank you, Yeaija, for putting it wonderfully. And yes, it is true that whenever we try to talk about anything, any topic, when it comes to mental health, the most important thing is that your home environment should be the one who should be uh, actually preach mental health. And if you come from a very safe environment, safe environment, even adolescents, if they are brought up in a very safe environment, they'll be very, they'll have this confidence to speak up to their parents about the things they are going through, and that is really really important. So parents, guardians, they play the most important role here, and then comes the schools or any other organization. Okay, going back to the second question for today's evening, uh, how do factors like peer pressure, academic stress, and social media impact adolescent mental health?
Okay, Alankrita, I would like to go ahead with this. So, as we have like discussed, as Yeaija ma'am have said, in adolescence, there's a lot of change happening. It is a very transformative period, and it is also a period of like vulnerability, particularly when we talk about mental health. Like a lot is happening, Most of the time, adolescents they don't have anyone to share with, or like they don't share because they feel like they'll be judged for that. So a lot of things are there. So first of all, when we talk about peer pressure, it is I would say there are like two sides to peer pressure. Sometimes peer pressure can push adolescent towards, doing something good. They can get that influence from their friends or like, children of their age. They can be like, okay, he's doing this, good in this, so I can also do good in this. So they can get that confidence and they can push themselves hard. But on the other hand, peer pressure can be very dangerous as well because it can make them part of things like bullying, substance use, and it can even force them into, for example, getting into a relationship when they are not ready because everyone around them is doing that. So stuff like that can happen all the time. And when that is happening, ultimately the adolescent they will start having issues such as anxiety or anxiousness at least because if there is a constant pressure to do something or like a constant maybe like a maybe if the people around them are constantly, targeting them or like giving them that pressure that you need to do this, you need to do this, and they're unable to do it or they don't want to do it, but they're doing it just because of that pressure, obviously that will bring in a sense of, anxiousness, or maybe they might even fall into further going ahead into with depression. Other issues such as self-esteem issues and, confidence issues, those things will also come. Then, uh, academic stress. Yeah, academic stress is something. If if we have a conversation with an adolescent in our society, the first thing that we ask is, in what class are you studying at? So, for an adolescent, their academics are sort of like a status for them. Like their academic success determines their worth. It's sort of like that. So there is a constant pressure from the parents' side also, from their surroundings also, to do well in academics. So everyone at the adolescent period, I would say, have faced some sort of academic stress. So eustress is something which is healthy stress, as we all know. So a good amount of eustress is good for the, adolescent to do good in their academics. But when that stress becomes, when that stress is um, coming from a point of pressure, external pressure, maybe from parents or the surroundings, then that can give rise to fears such as fears of failure, maybe fear of not doing good enough, fear of not being enough, and building up, that can sort of build up and again give rise to anxiety issues or stress issues. So, as we have seen again, the parental side, the environmental side, they're playing a lot of, or like exerting a lot of influence in this case also. Then, social media. You've asked about social media as well. Social media is something which was quite great for adolescents in the beginning because uh, most of the time you would see that they don't feel like they fit in. They always have this thing that I don't fit in with my surroundings. So social media was a great tool to find the kinds of people where they could fit in. So in the beginning, when social media was just coming up, so it was a great tool for that. Even now, I won't say that now it's, now it won't help you find your own crowd. It does that, but at the same time, we'll have to admit that there is a lot of harmful side, a lot of harmful things that has come up. For example, if high screen time, first of all, high screen time, they will always be like, glued to their phones. After that, you can see that they always have this fear of missing out. FOMO is there. They constantly need to know like what's going in the world. And then you can also see cyberbullying cases which target adolescents, or sometimes they also become a part of the bullies. So all of these things are happening in social media. So what can we do if we see the overall scenario? What can we do? First of all, we can, like Gita ma'am said again, we can raise awareness. Even though it sounds like very basic, the first thing we can do is raise awareness. By that, I mean not only making the kids aware or the children aware, but at the same time making the parents also aware, since they have a bigger role to play in, maybe controlling the screen time of the kids, maybe, having that conversation with their child. So, after awareness, we can also, foster certain life skills. That life skills such as, resilience and stuff, we can introduce those concepts to the kids, because resilience, once again, is something that, we don't think much about when we are at the adolescent stage. We are like, oh, I failed at this is over. We don't think that we can, bounce back from that situation, or like, there is, like, there is another chance there. I have an I'll have more opportunities going on. So we need to introduce kids to this fact that yes, you failed today, you failed in this exam today, or like, you failed in this particular thing that you are doing today, but you can bounce back from that. So once they, learn that, they can bounce back and they can further go on, that will immediately, help them with their confidence also, and, build that sort of self-esteem that we are talking about. So I hope that answers your question, Alankrita.
Yes, thank you so much, Deepshikha. I it is like true that awareness is a very basic thing. So awareness is, even though it's basic, a lot of people don't have awareness about a lot of important things. So coming to emotional challenges in adolescence, whenever they, like, people have an idea that the kid is going through a puberty phase or adolescent phase, but still they don't pay that much attention to the child. When it comes to peer pressure, talking about peer pressure, people make the right decisions. I am not saying, like, there are, you don't have there are lot of, you have bad friends or you have, good friends. There are, like, sometimes it's said, like, it is said that you have to be very careful when you choose your friends. Parents often tell their child that you have to be very careful when you choose your friends. So sometimes it's not about choosing the, right friends. It's about being able to take right and wrong decisions, in the sense, differentiate between right and wrong decisions. So, and also coming to academic stress, there is a lot of competition between them, like who, who can do this and who can be first when it comes to academics. I want to be a perfect scorer, and that time, and from them it stems, stress. And also if they are brought up in a family where every, they have a sibling, where, a bright sibling, and so they are also forced to, score better, learn more and more, and it is sometimes not possible because we are all individual and we have, different ways of learning. Also coming to social media, yes, social media platform is, just like Yeaija mentioned, social media platform is a place which is, which stands in the list of, creating body image issues. It is on the list. So whenever we see, like whenever they see someone getting famous or having a perfect like body according to them, a perfect body, they have this feeling that why don't I have this particular body type, or why am I not cool like that person. That's all I have to say. Coming to the next question, what role can parents, teachers, and communities play in supporting adolescents through emotional difficulties?
I think I would like to go ahead with this question. So, when we, like I said in the previous question as well, when we talk about adolescence, parents, teachers, and community plays a very, very significant role, right? And the role of each person in this particular transition period of there is very significant for the adolescents. So when we talk about parents, I think the first and the foremost and the basic thing the parents should give and try to provide to their kid is emotional support. I think that is the most basic kind of support and help that you can do to your kids. If there's any parents who's listening to us right now, so emotional support is one of the most basic and also very much needed. Now, how do you support emotionally to your kid? Having open communication, like I said, listening without judgments and without any interruption, and then showing empathy. I know every parents and kids have a very huge generation gaps between them, and they are, things are not similar to what the kid was going through, what the parent was going through when they was growing up, and a lot of things are different. But again, dismissing their problem and invalidating their problem and making it feel like it's just a phase, it will go on, there's nothing like this, it's all in your head, things like that can sometimes stay with the kid for much longer that you can ever imagine, right? So the first thing is emotional support. Second is having, when you give emotional support, the second point itself comes to the play, that is creating a safe environment. Then next is setting up healthy boundaries. Now, a lot of time when we speak about positive parenting, a lot of people think that positive parenting mean, saying yes to everything the kid says, having no rules, having no grounds of disagreement and stuff like that. No, that is not what we mean when we talk about positive parenting. Positive parenting can come with a set of rules. Positive parenting can come with a set of disagreements and grounds in which the parents and the kids don't align. That is fine. But having a healthy boundary, you know, having a boundary, to what extent are you going to punish your kid? Having a boundary, to what extent are you going to fight with your parents, right? And having a clear and very good understanding about those boundary will definitely help. And and it will also help for the kid to understand its own autonomy, like he himself or she himself would think about themselves about as a single identity, like I should not do this, I should not go beyond this, and I should not create a scene beyond this. I have a boundary with my parents, right? In a similar way, parents also needs to think in a similar line. And um I would like to go back to the first point again when I spoke about emotional support. Apart from open communication, I think respect is something which always is in question when it comes to from the other side, that is the parents. Does parents respect their kid? That's a very important question. Do parents respect their kid? There's a lot of debate on this particular question as well, because it is always the other way around, that parents expect, you know kids needs to respect their parents. But having a mutual respect for each other is very necessity, it's a very it's very significant for both the parties welfare, right? Apart from like these things, I think encouraging positive habits, helping with their emotional regulation, like when they are angry, when they're sad, when they're disappointed, demonstrate and help them to deal with it, to deal with these emotions and these feelings in a more healthy way of coping, like I would say, you know. And then lastly, encouraging positive habits, as in like helping them to focus more on their physical habits, physical this thing abilities, hobbies, balanced routine and stuff like that. Now when we talk about teachers, it's almost similar to the parents, but then uh, teachers play their role in the institution, in the school. So for example, like I said, parents need to create safe space, teachers also need to create safe space in the school, in institutions, because a lot happens in school, a lot happens in institution, and and there are not too many kids who are okay sharing a lot of things that happen with them, bad, good, whatever, in the school. Especially bad, they are not open to share these things, they're not open to share with the experiences, and that is the reason why there's a lot of kid who go through bullying, who go through a lot of other inappropriate things in the school boundary. But yet the authority and the school, um the school authority fails to see those things, because it's not a safe environment for the kid to come up and speak about it. Another very important thing that the teachers can do is making the class inclusive, right? No matter what shape, color, what disability, what sort of uniqueness, quirk the kid has, having a very inclusive classroom gives equal opportunity and gives equal respect and representation to each and every kid in the class, so that no one feels left out, and there's not a feeling of partiality, of biasness from the teachers to the kids. And another very important thing that the teachers play a role is teaching kids about emotional and social skills, you know because as I say, it's a very transformative period. So if it is transformative, apart from what it has been taught in the household, what is the extra dose of knowledge is the school providing on their body, on their mental health, on their grounds of how they are becoming an adult, and how their body is changing right now, and how their mood swings make sense because a lot of hormone change is happening, right? So these things are very much important, and it is like very significant and cannot be neglected, because if both home and community plays their role in a significant manner, a lot of things can still be managed before it gets before it gets out of hand. Another very important thing, and it is somewhere very true, that a lot of things teachers notice first than even parents. So having a good communication with even the parents and the counselor, or parents and the class teacher, is also very important. And having the interest and having the care for their kids and inform their parents is it's very important. When we talk about community, I think first and foremost thing that we should always look into is promoting awareness, be it mental health awareness, be it physical health awareness, be it any sort of awareness. Community plays a very important role when it comes to awareness, and when it comes to making people educated about things which is happening. Apart from that, providing access to resources, like if my kid is going through this, where should my kid get help from? you know if I cannot help my kid right now, where should my kid go and get the help from? So be it counseling, be it mentor programs, be it support group, be it any sort of other help which is which the community can give us, I think that is also very important, providing an access to resources. Lastly, I think community should also work to address the social challenges. When I speak about social challenges, it means poverty, discrimination, violence, and a lot of things which revolves around in the society. Because there's like, when we speak about mental health has a huge taboo, right? We don't speak about it. A lot of place yet fails to speak and give the importance of mental health, even though the people are suffering from it. So when we address social challenges, it is somewhere become more easy for people to come out, right? To come out and to speak about it. Let's just say there's someone going through an abuse, be it sexual abuse, be it physical abuse, be it any sort of abuse, and the society takes a step ahead to speak on the abuse, to give to addresses on the abuse. I think a lot of victims would feel encouraged to come ahead and to speak about it, right? So I think, even though there we are talking about three different talking about three different institutions, that is parents, school, teachers, and community, but together they play a very vital role. And if three of them plays regulates their work in a proper manner, a lot can be managed. So yeah, Alankita, that's all from my end.
Thank you, Yeaija. We have a question from one of our viewer, um, Salman. He asked, considering our culture, it is very difficult to have non-judgmental parents and ask questions. So instead of professional help, what else can you suggest to get help from?
I think I can go ahead with this question. So, it's a very relevant question, to be honest, and a lot of us, I think, can relate to it. Because no matter how much we speak from this side of the internet, that we need to be vocal, we need to have an open communication with our parents, and parents should have a non judgmental and a safe environment for the kid, it is not the reality as we see in a regular life. It's easy to be said and to be done. So I would really encourage, and I would really advocate for, firstly, I think kids should try to understand their parents perspective. I know parents are always coming from a part where they think from a part that they want the best for the kids, right? Now if they want the best for the kids, it has to align with the kids as well. If what you are wanting to be the best, is it what the kid want, right? And because if we ask a lot of time, like I recently saw this interview somewhere, and it's so funny, like the interviewer, the yeah, so the question was basically, it was asked to parents, what do you want for your kids? And the parents replied, we don't want much. We just want our kid to be better than us, earn better than us, be a better person than us, right? And we just want them to have the life that we never had. So, and the flip side of the coin is that, but we want our kids to listen to us, to do things according to us, to follow the dreams that we say to follow, to have the friends that we want them to have. So it's so ironical, because you want your kid to be a step ahead than you, or two step ahead than you, right? Better than you, basically. But if you want your kid to follow the exact path which you followed, don't you think the kid would stop in the same place where you are stuck right now? Right? So, only if you let your kid to, function fully, and to make mistake, and to be whoever they want to be, then only I think the kid will move ahead than what they were, right? If you're not opening up any doors, and if you're only allowing your kid to move on the path which you chose for yourself, and which your parents thought to be best for you, if you only keep on moving from that path, I think the kid will also end up to where the parents are right now. And then the parents would be disappointed, thinking the kid have my kid was never successful. Even after providing all of these luxuries, my kid was never, successful, never understanding in all of these things, right? So it just came to my mind, and I think the interview is very, very well relevant to the question Salman Kushn Mazumdar just asked. So another thing that I would like to put here is that firstly, try to understand the parents perspective. Secondly, always try to have an open communication. I know it's really hard, and I know it's not easy, but if you want to not let go of your dreams and of your ambition and how what you are going through, I think it's very important for you to talk, because there's no one in this world who's going to talk behalf of what you are feeling, because you know yourself the best, right? So, and you know your parents the best, and the language they understood, the way they understand, you need to open up and you need to speak with them. I know I'm not saying these conversations are going to be easy. It's they are going to be very difficult conversation. Most of the time, maybe the conversation won't even end. Beginning may, I think, stop ho jayega because the parents are not interested to talk about it, and a lot of other thing. But somewhere you have to sit with this feeling and you have to have an open communication. And once you understand what your parents are trying to get from you and what you are trying to get from you, I think you should gently start drawing boundaries. You know that these things doesn't align with me, but yet these things doesn't align with my parents, so I come in the between. So what should I do now? you know the do's and the don'ts, the cons and the pros, see everything, and then you slightly start creating a boundary that yes, I need to listen these things about parents because these make sense, and these things doesn't make sense, right? And if you're not getting the help from your home, then I would like encourage, if you have a sibling, if you have a cousin, if you have a friend, or anyone, in that case anyone, if no one else, professional help would definitely give you new perspective to how to see these things and how to overcome these challenges. And lastly, please practice empathy. Try to understand from your parents perspective, also try to understand from your own perspective also, and empathy to a point where it is not harming you. you know we There's always a question that I always ask to myself: how much empathy is too much empathy? So empathy to a point where you understand your parents, and so does you try to understand without neglecting yourself. And I think at the end you have to pick your battle. Which battle are you going to fight? Because at the end of the day, we all have our own battles, and we have to fight for it, because no one else will. So I think, yeah, that's all from my side. I think that's all I want to put it in this question.
I hope Salman have got his answer from our esteemed speaker. Yes, it is true when we coming from if you're coming from a very judgment judgmental, if we have parents who we feel are judgmental, it is very important to either way you have to talk to your parents about what you are going through and how you feel about a particular situation, right? And also, talking about parents also need to realize that the way they have being brought up, or their generation and their child's generation is a completely different one. So they have to keep in mind of their child's perspective as well as their perspective, and vice versa. The child also needs to keep his or her perspective and their parents perspective as well. So only thing that is going to help here is open communication. The child has to you know be open to any of the reply that our parents are going to give them, and the parents have to be open about any of the questions that is being asked to them, and they have to be ready to answer them. Because as a parent, a child will definitely, if they want, they want to feel safe around you, they'll definitely go and ask you. You'll be the first person they are going to ask, or they are going to talk about. So even though they might be scared, at the end of the day, even though their questions might be, those which is difficult for you to understand, you have to still keep an open mind and reply it or present it in such a way that you are not making your child feel like you're judging them, or making them feel like it is better to for them to not talk to you at all. So it comes from both side. Okay, so coming back to our question.
Yes, Alankrita,
What,
I
yes.
just like to briefly add
Sure, sure.
regarding this only that like Yeaija said, that we should pick up the battles because ultimately it's better to fight your parents right now than have those regrets later on, because ultimately we'll be the ones living up with that regret. And
True.
I think the goal here is to like not pick a side, the parent side or a child side. It would be really like good if we could find like a middle ground. Some of the parents' requirements are also there, some of the child's requirements are also there. If we could find a middle ground, that would be really good. And for that, ultimately the child will have to step up, speak to their parent, because no one else is going to do that for them. And from the parents' side, they can have at least, like 40% of the patience and listen to their child, at least have one or two conversations with them. So I hope, I think we are like, collective goal is that we are trying to spread this awareness ki, at least they should, come to a middle ground, if not, pick at one or other side. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Deepshikha. So, coming back to the question, what are some of the healthy coping mechanisms and resources that adolescents can use to manage stress and build resilience?
All right, Alankrita, I would like to go ahead with this question. First of all, we've been talking about stress a lot this evening, and stress is, first of all, something which is very universal. We all have faced it, and I think everyone faces it at all the stages of life. If we see, in terms of adolescence, as I've said before, this is a very transformative, phase for them. Like things suddenly, make sense to them, or things suddenly don't make sense to them. Some of the things become very clear, some of the things become very confusing. So at that point of time, it's very difficult for them to figure out, what truly matters in their life, and what should be the focus of their life. So one of the things that they can use, or one of the things that they can uh, one of the tools that they have is very simply self-care. Okay, when I say self-care, for adolescents, it can simply start from doing three basic things, you know, eating at the right time, sleeping at the right time, or like staying active. Because, adolescents find it very difficult to sleep at the right time and eat at the right time. So, yeah, that is where they can start by building, like, at least keeping these three things in their routine. And then when we talk about physical activity, it can be any kind of sports that they enjoy, or any kind of, exercise that they like to do, or workout, whatever they enjoy. Like they should pick up something they enjoy instead of, forcing themselves to, do something that they think will work. They should, try to go towards something which they think, which they feel will be fun for them. And then mindfulness. Mindfulness, mm, I won't say like all of the teenagers or like all of the adolescents will start, thinking a lot about this thing, mindfulness, because they are very much stimulated and all of the times they need a lot of things, and they also tend to participate or like being engaged with a lot of, stimulating activities or stimulating things. So it is quite difficult to be mindful at their age. But if in their institutions or in their schools, for example, a meditation class or a yoga class is, you know, uh, under their curriculum, if it's mandatory, that can really help them. So, if their institution itself, encourages them to do such things or to participate in such things, that will, really at least build that or start the foundation of mindfulness. And then emotional expression. Emotional expression is something that is, very important because most of the time they're holding or they're keeping a lot of their feelings inside. Under emotional expression, open communication is also coming. Finding a person or like an outlet, maybe a creative outlet, maybe it can be art, music, or any kind of writing that can help them with emotional expression. Or maybe talking to someone, talking to a friend, talking to a sibling, or talking to an elderly. Excuse me. So, those are some things that can help them, emotionally express themselves. Another crucial thing is learning to take responsibility, or, starting that habit of taking responsibilities. Because till that age, their parents or their caregivers are doing a lot of things for them. So they don't have that, in their mind that I need to be responsible for this thing or I am responsible for this thing. So teaching them like, to set realistic goals, maybe teaching them to set realistic routines, or like, helping them break down their goals into, tiny, tiny manageable, amount. Those things can actually help them or build this idea of responsibility in their mind that okay, there is this goal I have set and I'm going to be responsible for it, whether I excel in it or I fail in it. So that thing, in the long run, that thing can help them build resilience. That's where I'm trying to connect it. And while social media is a great tool for them to, like I said, connect, find their crowd, but at the same time, we'll have to, encourage them to go off social media, take, you know, uh, decrease their screen time, talk to a loved one, talking to a loved one, or like engaging in creative things, you know, encouraging them to engage in whatever, whatever fun activities that they like other than social media. And beyond those things, they can also, they should also be made aware of the fact that they are not alone. Most of the adolescent period we spend thinking that we are alone in this. Like, it's a very lonely feeling. We feel like there is no support. There is no one, and I can't share anything. I can't talk about this to anyone. So, friends and family are the primary support system. And after that, teachers, counselors, all of them come in. So it is very important that strong support system is built for them so that if they fall back also they have something to land on. Ultimately, having all of the things that I've discussed, having like a or having a manageable routine and encouraging them with more, you know, physical activities, practicing mindfulness, practicing the three basic, routines like eating on time, sleeping on time, and then practicing, creativity. All of those things will come together to build resilience later on. Because resilience is something that they are not born with, or it is not something that will come automatically. It is something that they have to practice, that they have to learn, and they will learn when they and they will learn it throughout their experiences, of course. But then they also need these things that I have mentioned, things like this in their arsenal, so that when they are going through an experience, or when they are going through like a stressful event, they have this kind of support or this kind of tools in their arsenal. I hope this answers your question, Alankrita.
Yes, thank you, Deepshikha. Yes, it's true. Uh, as an adolescent, you have to be, you have to take care of yourselves, because mostly we call this period as a period of storm and stress. This period is a very, difficult period for child, going through, different hormonal changes, bodily changes. Also, this is a period where, they are very confused about their identity. They are very confused about what's going on, and they're, curious about what's going on. And they have this feeling of, being not heard by people, of fear of being judged, and, fear of being not being understood. So this period is, as I mentioned before, parents as well as teachers as well as mentors, they have to be very mindful, very mindful while, talking to an adolescent, because this is a period where a lot of aggression stems. The child gets aggressive, the child gets irritated very easily, because most of the time they ask questions out of curiosity. And when they, they are being told in a way which is, which they feel are being, where they feel they are being insulted, or they are not being understood, they, go through, they search, look out for another avenues. And most of the times those avenues end up, creating problem for them. Most of the time, I'm not saying always, but yes, most of the time those avenues, they end up creating problem for them, and end up creating more stress for them. So it is very, very important for, the adults here to be very transparent with their child, or with their student, or with the young generations. That's all I have to say. And also, this was the last question of the session. So,
I
summarize.
just, I just want to add a little bit, okay? So, what you and Dipshika said made a lot of sense. And just the one point that I want to highlight in this particular, like we are about to end the session. So, it is very important, like with the change of the whole dynamics of learning right now and teaching also, because a lot of things AI and technology plays a very vital role, right? And so the kids are overstimulated with a lot of things which is not even real, it's in the digital platform. So there's one thing I would really want to suggest, and I really want to look, really want our audience to take away from this particular thing. A lot of your emotional challenges is also manifested in your physical well-being as well, right? So all of these technology, all of these AI tools, all of these things are really really beneficial for a lot of us. It really helps us. But the fact that it is not in the real, it is virtual, that is where it gets a bit problematic sometimes. Because if you're too much dependent on the virtual world, there are a lot of things which will stem from the real world which you're unaware of and which you have a hard time dealing with, right? So breath work, I know these things adolescents have a hard time to do it, but at least they can come out of the house. Parents should encourage them to get out of their house, have, get in touch with real life people, talk with the same group of people in real life rather than just chatting and rather than just talking over social media and other streams of media. Go out, do some physical activity, get out of your house, get some pure good oxygen, let your heart pump blood properly, circulate all the things in your body, because a lot of mental health is dependent on the physical health. So when you take care of your physical well-being, definitely a lot of your emotional well-being will be also be sorted. So yes, AI is important, technology is important, online classes are important, and a lot of assignments are important, but it is also important to look up for your health, which is your physical health. And if you look up for your physical health, mental health will be also be, you know, benefited for that. So yeah, that's all I had to add.
Yes, true. I definitely agree. This is the most important, topic. Actually, we should have talked about it. Thank you for, pointing it out. So yes, when it comes to AI or technology, adolescents are like now they are completely covered with I don't know if that's the perfect word, but I'd say like they are covered with different technologies, different AI tools, and they are mostly dependent on them. So it might be anything. Even if it's like a decision they have to take in their life, they like step up and like type it and ask it through a AI tool, or be it through different technological stuff. Also they are mostly seated in their house or seated in a place where they are mostly connected through the web, playing, either scrolling their social media, or either just sitting there and scrolling through anything that's like present there. They don't just go out. Most of the time they don't step out of their house. They don't talk with the people. They even don't have a proper conversation with their family. They don't step out of that room. Their room, that particular room for them is like a comfort zone. So sometimes they have to step up out of their comfort zone. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone, take a breather, uh, you know just experience the real world, at like, just go out, see the sun, or have a run, or just talk with your friends. The friends you mentioned, like Yeaija mentioned, chat through WhatsApp, or any other social media platform. Also talking about this particular topic, now that the adolescents, a lot of adolescents are preparing for the 10th and 12th examination. So they are very stressed, and most of them are sitting in their room studying in the entire day, not stepping out of their house, not eating properly, not sleeping properly. And this time it is understandable that this it is a very stressful time for them. Like there is a lot of competition going on, for they have this feeling of being what if I fail, what if like I don't score, get a proper score. But like I would like to suggest them that sometimes it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step out of your home and just take a walk. Because because the sometimes when you're studying and like you're not being able to concentrate, it's mostly because you have been constantly sitting on that particular room, or studying from like a very long time. So sometimes our body also needs break, and whenever we give our body break, or whenever we sleep well, or whenever we eat well, our body gives us that strength and that energy, to do whatever we want to. Like it can be studying, it can be playing, or it can be it can be anything. It can be a healthy mind or a healthy body. So it is very important that to take care of yourself. Also, coming to the question that I have asked to Yeaija and Deepshikha this evening, I like to summarize that it is very important for us to, for us, I would say, because a lot of people, I won't only say adolescents, or I won't only say parents, or I won't only say teachers or mentors. A lot of us, even a lot of people like us, they have no idea about the challenges that adolescents face, even though they know that, they are going through, this is a phase for them. It is like, according to them, it's like a phase, they'll get over with it, which is really not true, because a lot of uh, emotional difficulties might stem from this period, adolescent period. So if you are a parent, or if you're a teacher, or if you're a mentor, trying to somehow help your child, your student, or the younger generation, and have and are not completely aware, or have no idea how to, you can definitely go through different platforms where there are different programs, or you can also see this webinar and get an idea about how you can help them understand better, or how you can understand what emotional difficulties, or what difficulties they are going through. So that's all I had to say. Uh, Coming to the end of the session, I'd like to conclude that through this webinar, we all have, we all, as even the viewers, I think they have understood the emotions that teenagers face, and how important it is to have empathy, to have open communication, and to support them. And it is also very important to understand that adolescence is a very very critical time, and by working together, whether it can be as a parent, or as a guardian, or as an educator, or as a mental health advocate, we can actually empower them to navigate their emotions, because most of the time they are confused how to do it. So we can help them navigate their emotions. We can help them build resilience, and we have to also make them realize that resilience, just like Dipshika mentioned, it doesn't come, it is not like you're born with it. You have to build it, you have to learn how to build it. So it is a long process, but with a little help, with a little understanding, and with a little empathy, it it isn't possible. Okay, oh sorry, it is possible. So let us be let us continue to be their guiding light, and let us foster emotional well-being, and let us help them understand that they can, they are being understood, they are being, they are enough, and they are not alone in this journey, so they can have a brighter and healthier future. Finally, I would like to extend my sincerest gratitude to the speakers, Yeaija and Deepshikha, for enlightening us with your knowledgeable words. Also, last but not the least, thank you for our viewers for your love and support. And remember that Psychspace is available in every social media platform, and you can follow us on our Instagram page for latest updates and information. And for any professional help, we are just a DM away. Thank you all. Good night.